Am I live? I am live on YouTube and um live on Twitch. Hey everybody. Hi. Is me. I'm very awake. Um is some Daily Peak. Daily Peak. Hi. I um I keep falling asleep and then having issues breathing. And I was having a lot of issues breathing yesterday. And I'm realizing I should probably be more concerned about it than I am. Anyway, I'm very awake. Um, yeah. Oh, I want to design a thing real quick. Um, that's just my full Steam account. Uh, um, uh, there it is. Oh, I really don't need a Discord overlay on fucking pixel art software. That feels like something I really don't need. Why would that be the default? I can make Discord darker. Oh, that kind of fucks, actually. Make me feel so good, 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 good. You make me feel one shot, two shot, go. Not using it because I don't think it's useful. Hopefully that is a helpful information. Anyway, what was he doing? Oh, uh, okay. I want to design a thing. I whatever. It can be behind the chat. Whatever. I don't care that much. I don't remember what I wanted to design before I started though. But it was something. It was something important. Um, it felt important in my head. This is Ace Sprite, by the way. It's a pixel art software. You can get it, I think, free on Steam. I use it sometimes. Uh, okay. Well, I've got through stuff. I've got stuff and things. Uh, Which one of these is my game design document? This one. One with Valheim console commands on it for some reason. Um, Going over stuff and things. Uh, okay. What was the okay? So I in the past have previously been working on a game called Hours to Midnight, which is let's see if I can add this to the game capture actually. Can I? Can I just add just this to the thing? It's not being very helpful about it, so I don't think so. Anyway, game Hours to Midnight. Uh, let's see. I think it's control to increase the brush size. Um, the idea is it's a Disco Elysium like thing. Uh, and ideally, I want to do mostly like 3D assets for it, right? But for like placeholders and stuff, because my brain really likes to have nice design. Um, I wanted to throw together some pixel art. Um, I'm kind of going haphazard on this. And one of the things that I wanted to get some pixel art for is the core abilities that the game is supposed to focus on. So largely dialogue based, Disco Elysium type classic RPG, um, where you're trying to go through and um, where you are trying to mostly survive encounters with cosmic horrors. Uh, anyway, what is the button for Phil? G? Yeah! I'm so good at this. Uh, wait, no, wrong color. That one. But one of the big parts of the thing is can I get a different preset in here? What's my default usually? Is it that one? No. I mean, that's nicer. That is just more what I prefer to be using here. Uh, but one of the big aspects is a four ability system, kinda. Um, and those four abilities are agility, constitution, intelligence, and passion. A sip. And my thought is for those that each of the things has it's a like core attribute with oh core attribute with uh like a variety of skills attached. I don't like that. I don't know how much I like that either. I do that and my brain will like it. Is better. But those four core attributes need little portrait art. So I can actually like implement the tracker. Because one of the big things that's been going on is I lost a lot of my motivation to work on it while I was dealing with uh death in the family, which feels like a reasonable enough reason to lose focus on some stuff. Um yeah. And basically I haven't gotten much work done on it since like last year. The like game aspect of all of it. And I want to get back to it. And I want to do that just by like designing some assets. You know? Like anything. um Changing the shade of black I use real quick. But yeah. But one of the big things that I need to do in order to make progress on a thing is to work on the thing in the first place. Uh, and that's been rough. I'm gonna be honest. It is hard to get started on things. But this is like a thing that I can do, you know? Anyway, I wanted to get these little frames figured out today. And I figured now was as good a time to do that as any. They're kind of pretty. They don't need to be super pretty, which is, why I'm just roughing them out. I like the idea of having a semi circular frame. Um, where it's like I could crop it down to be circular if I needed to, but most of the time it's depicted in square. I'm good at pixel art. Or at least I like to think I am. I don't check all that often. Anyway. Um yeah. There's probably an easier way to do this. Like I probably could have just copied over the initial version of the design 4 times and then filled in the colors after. Oh, but I didn't do that. Two, three, four, five. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, okay. Cool, cool, cool. I'm doing these faster and faster. The idea is agility, constitution, intelligence, passion. And each of these guys has their own like kind of characteristic. Like they each act in their own unique, like they have opinions based on the attribute they represent. So while you're gonna get a lot of like agility covers precise work that you do with your body, while constitution is the more brunt work and like pure resistance, like endurance, as well as strength. Agility is both like how quick you are as well as how sneaky you are and like, pickpockets, pick locks, etc. And as a result, you've got the very confrontational constitution, and the very flighty agility. And agility then becomes kind of a voice of self-preservation as well, because they are basically the instinct you have to flinch out of the way at a certain point. Like, so not only do they come up in these like, okay, I can do this. I'm plenty clever, I'm plenty sneaky, whatever. I can hide in these shadows. But like they do the thing of like, hey, this sounds dangerous. Maybe you shouldn't do that. And they also become threat perception. Good morning, Digi. I'm talking about game design plans. Specifically the characterization of abstract concepts. Um yeah. I wanted to do some game design stuff today before the daily peak. But I couldn't motivate myself to do it before like starting the stream. So I just started the stream and then started doing the game design stuff. So I'm making these little portrait frames for abilities for the game Hours to Midnight, a Disco Elysium like classic RPG, dialogue based, all that. Um and these are going to be the portraits for the core like ability scores, which is agility, constitution, intelligence, and passion in that order. Disco Elysium's really good. I'd recommend it. Yeah. My thought is those like core aspects of like your being in this case, instead of Disco Elysium where like all of the skills talk to you, and you know, they each have their own like unique bits of characterization, and the fact that they are named after one of the core aspects of their personality makes them a bit easier to remember and all that. But like I feel like if you limit the number of characters that live inside of your character's own head, um and you can do that, and also um you can limit it and characterize them very specifically. And it's like this isn't just the general concept of agility, this is your agility. And they have like a pretty distinct characterization. And that's like different across different characters that you might play. I thought that was a neat idea. Just some variant of like, yeah, you ultimately play your own character however you'd like. No one's gonna stop you from doing that. However, based on the way that your character was like raised and shit, they've got these voices in the back of their head, which represents some of that like personal, internal, like these are the thoughts that you are always thinking, and you can lean into certain opinions more than others, and that helps develop your skills certain ways. Which of these guys you listen to more often, uh, helps decide like how you're going to level up and all that. But it is also part of a determiner of like personality. because it's like, yeah, I listen to Yep, basically. Yeah, we've got like agility here, which is a combination of both uh like your agility in the very literal sense, but also the flinch reaction in a very abstract sense. So you have like, oh yeah, that looks like a place I can balance, I can squeeze in there, that kind of thing. And it's like those are the opinions that agility will have, but also things like, hey, this is looking dangerous, we should go. Like the verbal equivalent of flinching out of the way of danger by being the cautious one. Kind of building up to a thief type characterization where it's like, yeah, I'm clever, I am careful, uh, and I'm like good at what I do, is the thought. Meanwhile, Constitution is the general idea of like, no, this is blunt force. This is your ability to endure as well as the like very brutish aspects of just like physical strength and all that. And that manifests in like, no, we face this problem head on. We take the simplest route from here to there kind of situation. Um Meanwhile, intelligence is like curious to a fault, where it's like, yeah, I'm very analytical, I always want to know more, I don't always have good concern for your health and safety in the process of wanting to know more. And passion is a combination of mental resilience as well as like charisma. It is your ability to tolerate the horrors basically, as well as interact with others. Ooh, a piece of candy. Um and passion is also in a less formal sense your artistic expression. So I feel like passion would be more long-winded and optimistic, kind of. Where it's like, oh, friend, we can endure this challenge. That kind of thing. So there's like an eloquence there as well as like a determination because the passion covers your eloquence and your willpower and all that. And later on, it helps to govern your tolerance of like insanity in a very direct sense, and thusly your ability to use magic. You know, without driving yourself insane. But yeah, let me save this real quick, and I can swap back over to the Daily Peak because I just wanted to get a thing done on that. Um, Common a sprite. Let me make a new folder in here. Hours to midnight. Yeah, the thing I was working on was the core system for like a series of hours to midnight games where I could swap out the models of like the main character and, you know, side characters and such, but still keep the core gameplay engine of it. And it's originally being built in Unreal Engine 5 because I originally built it for a class. and that is the engine we are using for the class. I've been considering trying to switch to like Unity or something. It's more open source, or not necessarily open. It's more open, generally speaking, but also it's better performance wise, and I don't need this to look good. I need it to run good, you know? Attribute frames 1 dot a sprite. Cool. We'll see what ends up happening. Yeah. Okay. Now let me get, where the fuck is peak? Where is it gone? There it is. Oh wait. Before I start the game, I should take my meds. Gods, I almost forgot. Godot mobile compatibility mode peeking around the corner. Jeez. Terrifying. Not a bad idea, but terrifying. Making something that could run on a brick would be very fun. Okay, I just took my meds and I took them with tea instead of my energy drink. Because I forgot to crack my energy drink before taking the meds. Tea has been steeping overnight, by the way. But yeah. I'm opening peak now. I am... Okay. Took a minute. Ooh, hot coca. I said hot cock initially, and that's not right. With coffee. You could tell I'm awake. Oh, my vitamins too. I need to take those. But yeah, hours to midnight. The original concept is just I want to make Shadows over Innsmouth into a Disco Elysium like. And I was like, well, I mean, this would probably be an easy enough format to replicate across multiple. Oh, god damn it. Okay. This would be easy to reuse across multiple games. I could make it into a series where I'm doing multiple stories. But then family members started dying, so I put the idea on hold. Vitamins. But yeah, now that I'm in therapy and like learning how to have emotions again, the idea of working on it again is sounding more appealing. Hell yeah. Bleh. Mostly it means a lot of writing before anything else. I got run it over. Yeah. We're gonna hope that I stick with it proper. Because I spent a while working on it and then... Well, yeah, I dropped off. And I want to change that. I want to drop on. What? I might end up needing help from friends and community members, though, just to remember to keep existing on that one. Alright, the universe has a build in mind for me today, and I will not deny it. Existing is hard. I would know. Oh fuck, I need to watch that course. Need to learn some game design in Unity. I've had access to several courses like that from the Humble Bundle. 'Cause I get those bundles obsessively. I promise it has not become an OCD compulsion thing. Survive in Norway. Hi. Oh, YouTube's twice again. Oh well. Under other circumstances, I'd try to fix that, but I don't care enough today. Anyway, howdy. No, you can't join. The Daily Peak is a solo thing. Ah, that sounds cool. A body doubling contract. I should do that. I need to trap more people in contracts and other obligations. Like a fae. Shit. Okay. That didn't work out. Gonna have to tackle this from a different angle. I got brothers over. I'm a zipper. I don't give a fuck. Wait. Fuck. So I accidentally called a coworker this morning because I fully fell asleep on my phone. So I accidentally gave Jan a ring and a heart attack, apparently. It happens. It happens to the best of us, so of course it's gonna happen to me. Yeah, sure. Thankfully, Jane didn't mind. He was already awake. Which is good. I prefer not to bother my coworkers. Yeah. My thought for doing game design, I could probably stream it and get something equivalent to body doubling. Like you guys just saw with me working on those pixel art frames. Make it a part of the daily peak. Yeah. Cause yeah, I was able to do some pixel art just a minute ago because I streamed it, so, you know. Might be a good idea. Plus it makes all of my dev stuff like a lot more public. And I like the idea of recording that kind of stuff. I have a devlog, but it turned into more of a diary at a certain point. That's one of those, like, I don't know if I should publish this. My caving instincts have kicked in. Oh, hey. Piece of candy. Hero. Hell yeah. This is handy. This is good timing on that. Yeah, one of the main things with Hours to Midnight is I've got a plan, like a general plan for like a demo version of the game, which is basically you're playing a like occult librarian. I should step back. My idea for the setting of this game is a like industrial era occultist like urban fantasy setting. Urban horror fantasy, wherein it's like, yeah, the occult is real and has influenced generations of history or whatever, but it is overall kept secret and all that. So I'm thinking like industrial horror, as in like this is the turn of the Industrial Revolution, and people are both figuring out these new technologies. It's like an age of innovation, but it is also an age of the occult as people are incorporating these technologies with darker, older magic to horrifying results. Which, right? That sounds cool as hell. And yeah, my thought is, the, like, demo version of the game, you are playing a librarian, who is being initiated into a library-based occult society. Basically, they've been collecting magic books for, centuries now. And, like, learning from them and keeping them safe and all that. So you are being inducted into this society, by being tasked with, basically pacifying, like, an artifact. Or surviving an encounter with an artifact. Which the cult has maintained for, centuries for this purpose. Of, like, inducting new recruits. Or, like, one of many, and it's like, okay, to prove your worth, you have to do X, Y, and Z to this artifact we've, like, just brought in. Something like that. Whatever makes the best story, I think. But yeah, yeah. So my thought for the demo version is, like, yeah, one room, one, like, interactable that you are, talking with, and you're trying to figure out which of the, like, artifacts you have been given, can pacify this, new strange artifact. And if you get it right, you join this occult librarian cult. You join this cult of librarians, and if you get it wrong, you die on the spot. So you spend a while, like, consulting with both, your own knowledge of, like, artifacts and the world around you and all that, as well as your own skills. Look, any occult society is gonna... You're gonna run into some uniting themes. But yeah. Yeah, you're poking and prodding at this artifact until you can figure out how to pacify it and pass this test. Again, or die. Dying is also an option. So you're prodding at it with the different abilities you have, and, like, abstract sources of knowledge, that kind of thing. Because I want to get this, dialogue system down pat. Because it's the core of everything. It is the sole method by which you interact with the world, basically. Short of walking. Like, the whole thing is a combination of walking and talking, you know? And I feel like you're gonna do more talking than walking. So getting a little, like, closed in the one box, talking simulator working, would be a good idea, I think. And I could make it, available on itch.io for free or whatever. It's like, hey, this is the style that a bunch of future games are gonna be in. If you're enjoying this, consider purchasing the others. Strange horticulture or strange antiquities? No, but I have a feeling it's similar to the gameplay loop I just described. I don't know why I would assume this, but for some reason, I feel like you're about to tell me about a game that does a similar thing to what I'm trying to do. You know. No specific. I think I'm just a psychic. Hi, bees. Bee bong. Like bing bong, but different. Wait. I really gotta get better at dodging these guys. Okay. More so for identifying and discovering what plants' artifacts are, not for the dialogue and interaction system. Fair. I didn't get that lantern turned on. Well. Anyway, expect more game design talk about projects that I want to work on in the future. And thanks to everybody who came out for today's Daily Peak. I appreciate your viewership, and I will see all of you guys tomorrow. I've been debating doing extra like afternoon streams to do other shit because I like doing this. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, see you later.